Hello and welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda. Now, the hospitality industry has seen a gradual growth with big brands such as Marriott and Radisson Blu opening up in the country. However, the industry is facing the capacity building challenge. Now, in this Doing Business in Rwanda, we'll take you through initiatives that are being undertaken to tackle that. My name is Zuena Bachu. I am your host, so stay tuned for more. Tourism industry is the largest source of foreign exchange earnings in Rwanda, and it is projected to grow at a rate of about 25% every year. Recently, Rwanda Development Board and Mastercard Foundation signed a memorandum of understanding to build links between young job seekers and employers, develop skills training programs for young employees, and identify skills gaps in Rwanda's tourism and hospitality sector.
You see, the tourism industry being the one of the growing sector in this country, actually even in the world. It brings a good problem that there is a demand, a really high demand for skilled labor force. This MOU is actually going to tackle the gap that we have in the tourism industry by ensuring that in the next 5 years we have about 30,000 jobs that are created through or for this specific sector of tourism and hospitality. So in a nutshell, that's the importance of this MOU between RDB and Mastercard Foundation.
We have a very strong relationship with the government of Rwanda in general, and the RDB is, as you know, in charge of tourism, but also in charge of skills development more recently. We've been working together and ensuring that we're aligning. They have provided a lot of help in terms of reaching out to the businesses, to the employers, and also aligning on things like, be aware of the environment with the licensing, and have been really reaching out to employers to explain to them what the licensing process is, among other things. We definitely will be doing more, especially now with the skills office also joining. But I think what we've appreciated is that even before that, we've already had that. So this will really be a consolidation to really continue to strengthen this collaboration that we've enjoyed so far.
Hanga Ahazaza, which means create the future, is a $50 million initiative of the Mastercard Foundation to create work opportunities for about 30,000 Rwandan youth for over 5 years. Hanga Ahazaza initiative is an association of 12 partners from the education, development, and the private sectors.
Tourism is one of the sectors that has the highest level of employment. And clearly this shows that this is a sector that is really an important sector when it comes to jobs. In the case of Rwanda, that's also the case. I mentioned this is a priority sector for the country, a priority sector in terms of the job opportunities for young people, a priority sector in terms of just GDP growth, and a sector that is really going to help Rwanda transition into the middle economy. And so it's very much aligned with what the world is saying, where tourism is going. Our interest as the Mastercard Foundation is that we look at sectors that provide work opportunities for young people. And those are sectors that are growing. And that's how tourism and hospitality was identified here in Rwanda, because it ticked on all those factors: priority sector, growing, young people can get opportunities there. Ultimately, that's where our interest is, and is very much aligned with all these elements that the government has also prioritized.
Like you've seen, the Hanga Hazaza program is a mix of a couple of partners that have different mandate when it comes to this project, to coming to completing this project. There are going to be programs or outreach programs for the youth to even know that this exists. That's one. In terms of communication, the Mastercard Foundation has invested in a strong PR strong PR activities to ensure that the youth is actually aware about this particular project, this particular program. They have a website which you can access and of Hanga Hazaza, and should be able to give anyone the possibility to understand how to tap into this fund.
Key players from the tourism industry have argued that one of the biggest challenges in the sector is skills, which is one of the reasons behind the partnership between Rwanda Development Board and the Mastercard Foundation.
Well, I think the biggest challenge we have is, I would start with saying human resource, especially in hospitality. This is a very new sector. We're growing. We're very, I think, nascent comparison to our neighbors like Kenya and Uganda, Tanzania. So I think we've made great strides, but there's still a long way to go. So I think as a business owner in this sector, this is the biggest thing. So a lot of us contribute in that way. So, we train, we try to at least bring the staff that we have to the level that is required, depending on what type of service you're providing in terms of grading. So if you're a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, on going that way. And I think for the restaurant business, the biggest issue is the supply chain. We're a landlocked country. So a lot of things sometimes have to be imported, whether it's furniture, whether it's constructing materials. Luckily, with Ingha, we really try to promote local agriculture. So in terms of everything that is produce related, everything is locally sourced. Our seafood is sourced from Tanzania, so we really try to promote the continent here at Ingha Steakhouse. So we serve African food, I say, always in a continental way. So those, I think, are the two biggest challenges. So supply chain, being able to have suppliers that can meet your demand in terms of quantities and frequency of delivery, and then we need to do more capacity building for sure. I think that's the dilemma that many people face when they enter into this industry. So when we first started, sort of the instinct is to say, I'm going to hire the best skilled person for the job. But in retrospect, you find out that a lot of people have, quote unquote, the skills on paper, but have no practical experience. And that's not very helpful when you're in the hospitality industry. I think there's a lot to be said about experience versus knowledge, if you want to put it that way, or a certificate. So with me now, I think in my hiring process, I really hire based on potential. So I think it's very important for me to meet the individual, and then we do multiple rounds of interviews. And then we have probation periods, but the training is mostly done on the job, because oftentimes you'll find that you hire somebody who has acquired skills, but who develops also habits, and habits are hard to break. So once you hire somebody who has developed maybe quote unquote bad habits from a previous employer, then breaking down those habits and then teaching new are a bit harder than sort of starting with somebody who has really the motivation to enter into this industry and is very curious and willing to learn. Then I think you have more of a blank canvas to be able to now start from zero and train this person in a way that suits your business, I think.
I think one of the main challenges that we have found in our program is that there are many entrepreneurs out there who have been in business for a longer time and believe that there's nothing else that they can learn anymore. Even though I think that is very often not the case, because every day you can continue to learn, you can continue to improve and grow your business. And I think that's one of the challenges that we've had. I think on top of that, what we see is there is very often the motivation from people to learn, but there's not an environment that is created. Very often in a restaurant it can be very busy, things can happen all of a sudden, and then someone is supposed to show up for one of our learning labs but can't because they're drawn into work. And I think that really giving that room for your people to grow and giving them that space to learn is something that is very important, both in order of retention and also to be able to continuously improve your business.
One of the biggest challenges actually in the industry is the skills, because in terms of service delivery, customer care, I think we've been really struggling, and that's why we have the likes of partners like Mastercard, any other partners that are coming in. You have many partners that are coming to ensure that we improve the skills. So skills is one of the areas I think the major challenge that we are facing, but I think we are trying to address it. Because when we have the skills, so you reduce the employment of international people, foreigners, so to say. You increase the employment of local people. You increase the image of the country in terms of services. So I would mention that's the strongest one in terms of challenges.
We spoke to young people to pick their minds and the reasons as to why they chose to pursue a career in the tourism.
Yeah, what we wanted to emphasize is the role of the TVET, that is the skills on hands. It's almost the practicals, which is very important to people who are in the industry, because they used to meet with the challenge before they go on the field. From that practical, they are taking during the trainings. And that is very important to the people who are in the industry or in this sector, because to give them opportunity and a chance to access a job. Totally, it's very good, and it's better more than the normal trainings, because when you pass through in the TVET, mostly you work on the practice. The most of the time we did the practice. There is some theory, of course, but you focus on the practice. And when you did the practice during the training, when you're going on the field, it is very easy to perform very well, because you meet with the challenge before you go on the field. And definitely the TVET, I can advise my colleagues and the youth in general to participate in the TVET.
As I see, working tourism is also another opportunity so that you can have career in it, because before I didn't dream that to be in tourism, because I see there's something big than tourism it is. As I work in coffee sector, we have different things about tourism, because we have what we call masterclass, where we sit like 2 hours introducing our guests about coffee, different things about coffee. And we also have time to take them to different provinces to meet the women that produce this amazing coffee. That is kind of, you spend the whole day talking to them, and it is the good thing. As I saw it, I say, now my career is here, because before I was shy, brave, thinking that I can't do it, but as I push the door of saying I can, I become that.
The reason why I chose to be so much careers in this hospitality industry is that it is in the field where you can find more opportunities to get a job, where you can find your future without taking much time to fight for looking for your future. There is a lot of field in this industry you can work from, so that you can get something to change your life.
Now that is all for today's Doing Business in Rwanda. You are with me, Zwena Bachu. Now remember to send us your feedbacks on our Twitter handle at DBI Rwanda or my personal handle at Zwena Bachu. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.